Okay, this is part of what we're going to be drawing on this page. And again, this is a 12 by 18 page. We're going to have a total of 3 pictures on here. This one right here is a wall panel. Then we're also going to show a kind of a cutaway view of a wall here, showing the materials that are inside of the wall. And then up over in the left-hand corner, we're going to have, let's see, I planned to put something there and I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, how the wall meets with the ceiling section and the roof and everything else. But this is a wall panel. This is 14 feet by 8 feet tall. Okay, and it's made up of all these different parts. And of course, the only reason it looks so busy right now, normally it wouldn't look like this if you were just drawing this for a regular plan. But because this is a lesson, you have to know all the parts and what they're called. You need to know all these parts very well, okay? So don't come to me and ask me about what size a thingy should be. You need to be able to name something and tell me exactly what it is. But anyway, I'll kind of go over those parts here. King stud, that is the stud that always runs alongside any hole that is cut into your wall panel, such here's a door and here's a window. And you see I have king studs on both sides, king stud here and a king stud here. Okay, and that's just to add additional support, because anytime you cut away any members inside of the wall, then you're actually jeopardizing the integrity of the wall. However, we shore that up with things like king studs, and there's a few other components here that we shore that up with. Along the top here we have what's called a double top plate. So there's two 2x4s stacked one on top of the other. On one side it overhangs, there's an overlap to it. All right, and on this side there's a recess to it. All right, and that's so that 2 panels can fit together. And if you can look at this and imagine how this end would fit into this end, and you'll see how that works. Then we have the regular studs, which are 16 inches on center. Okay, and on 16 inches on center, the king studs do not count in that. Okay, because the king studs aren't added until later, until you cut the access into the wall. So 16-inch on center studs, and of course I measured from this way going this way. It doesn't matter which side you start with, as long as they're 16 inches on center until the very last one. The very last one may come up a little bit short of that. Let's see, down at the bottom we have the sill plate or sole plate. It can be called either thing, sill plate, sole plate. Now in the door we have a header. Okay, a header right here is a 2x6 header, and a 2x6 of course is not really 6 inches wide, 6 inches this way. It's actually 5.5 inches. Okay, so it's a 2x6 in name only. And I'll show you how those are put together, and that might be another drawing that we put on this paper showing how these headers are put together, because it's not just a single board. It's actually 2 2x6s sandwiched together with a piece of plywood between them. And that provides the additional strength above the doors and the windows. And this typically this type of header is for load-bearing walls. Sometimes you'll see headers that are a bit thicker, maybe 8 inches or even 10 inches, depending on the span and also depending on the weight that is going to be bearing down on it. Now, interior walls inside the house that are just what we call partitions, that are not really supporting any weight, they would not require headers like this for, like, let's say, doorways. Okay, and they would just require regular boards. But these boards up top here, these are called cripples. Okay, and above the window as well, those are cripples. They're really short boards, and basically they're the boards left after that's been the window access has been cut away. We also have cripples down at the bottom, and these are basically just the continuation of these cripples up here, and they are part of the regular stud system where everything is spaced 16 inches on center. Okay. The window, we also have a header in the window. It's also a 2x6 header. And we have a seal at the bottom here, and some people call it a window seal. And we have trimmer studs or jack studs, and those are the studs that are inside the window, okay, that basically prop up the header. As you can see how that fits together, they prop up the header. And the same thing over here in the door. We also have trimmer studs or jack studs also propping up the header. These are right below the header, okay? And it kind of forms a two stud system there right next to the door. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have the window itself, 36 inches wide. I did not put the measurement down here, but I will before I put this up for viewing. But that's actually 18 inches from the floor, and that's not anything written in stone. Your window can be as high as you want to, you know, within code, of course. There are some code regulations that are involved there, and we'll discuss those a little bit later. But it's 36 inches wide. The reason it is the size it is, it does have to do with code to make sure that we achieve a certain type of clearance. And the door itself is 36 inches, so this is a door that's facing to the outside, and in my imagination, this is the front door. The front door, 36 inches wide. It doesn't have to be 36 inches. Code states that at least one door should be at least 32 inches wide. It used to state that it was 36 inches wide, and people have just really stuck with that. I'm not sure why they reduced that to 32 inches, but people are still going to want you to put a 36-inch door on the front because that's how you can get furniture in and out of your house when you're moving in or moving out or buying new furniture or whatever. And furniture manufacturers know this as well, and that's why they build their furniture keeping in mind that you're going to want to bring this in your front door somehow. And that really is it on the wall. Now I'm going to show you how to actually draw the wall and some of the tips and things that I do to get this done right. So I'm going to start with a fresh piece of paper.